Miami, on the Barry University campus, a crowd of college students lined the way the Golden State Warriors went to their team van, waiting near the gym's exit. After practice, Stephen Curry had already left. Draymond Green had, too. And Steve Kerr, the coach. Hundreds waited nonetheless. The bond that kept them patient was stronger than the oppressive heat of South Florida. Jimmy Butler was everything they desired. Since he wasn't taking the team bus, word got out among the crowd that he would leave through a separate door. And when he did come out through another door, the raucous crowd yelled, "Jimmy!" and rushed to Butler. Surrounded him the whole way from the gym to the waiting black SUV with applause and cell phones. Butler continued. Never signed any autographs. Likewise didn't hurry. He simply grinned and walked idly, letting the youthful enthusiasm shower him. Then Butler disappeared. Following his trade to the Bay Area last month, it was a foreshadowing of Tuesday night's much-anticipated return to the Kaseya Center, the venue where he cemented his legendary stature over 6 seasons with the Miami Heat, this time as a Warrior. Butler made a big splash when he arrived in Miami, and departed with little reply. Butler lived up to the hype. Not just because he became one of the league's most well-known players by carrying the Heat on his back during incredible postseason runs, but since, in addition to his power, he gives the drama. Because, particularly when he feels mistreated, he knows how to create spectacle and understands occasions. That's why Tuesday's outcome, a 112-86 Heat thumping, was so disappointing. It lacked the specific moments that give such events their unique character. Both the emotion and the energy were lacking. Butler kept up his recent style of moving the ball and making the appropriate play despite facing double teams or the Heat's intensity. He played like a man who refused to give in to what the people wanted, even if the Warriors desperately needed his offense. When asked if he is relieved that his homecoming is finished, Butler responded, "It was behind me a long time ago. Everything was dead as soon as I became a Golden State Warrior." What could have been a thrilling chapter in Butler and the Heat story turned out to be a huge disappointment. Not for the Heat, though, who dominated the Warriors and became the most recent middling opponent to appear exceptional against Golden State. Bam Adebayo of Miami equaled Butler's level of vigor. Adebayo, Andrew Wiggins, Tyler Herro, Kel'el Ware, and Heat head coach Erik Spoelstra all played as though this game were important. They offered their services in remembrance of Pat Riley, the Heat's head coach and the object of Butler's wrath. On Golden State, Adebayo particularly showed off his ability to control both ends. Miami made 17 out of 25 long-range shots. The fact that the Heat did not shoot 50 of them is the only thing more amazing than their 68% three-point shooting percentage. "We must ensure that we approach each game as though we were playing the NBA's top team," Green stated. "Because when teams play us, they become like that. They play without thinking." That being said, the NBA is involved. Everyone is talented. Everybody has potential and can defeat you on any given night, regardless of whether they are a winning team or not. We must ensure that we are able to solve these games. Butler sipped an espresso from the Warriors' bench as Miami played a tribute video prior to the game. He was able to match the gesture to one of his own. Give the crowd a wave. A stony gaze. The minute he acknowledged the sentiment he had earned, it was almost as though he had been bullied. Butler remarked, "I mean, it brought back some happy memories from when I was sporting a Miami Heat jersey. I'm really grateful for those moments that helped me develop into the player, teammate, leader, and person I am now in this league. Without the opportunity I've had here, I doubt I could be who I am now. I will inform you of that." However, it still lacked the passion that such a reunion merits. The unfocused enthusiasm of the Heat fans was not unusual. Every time Butler touched the ball, they jeered and cheered during the video. However, it's obvious that Heat supporters weren't salivating over their 31-41 team. Furthermore, it's obvious that they don't despise Butler enough to make the stadium's Miami atmosphere scary. Jimmy Butler's comeback to Miami fails as the Warriors lack energy against the haphazard Heat defense. In a 112-86 loss versus his old squad, Butler made 5 of his 12 shots and finished with 11 points and 2 assists. Kerr remarked, "You know, Miami is a great place to live. As a result, nobody ever seems overly excited here. Their lives are going well. Therefore, it wasn't a very aggressive environment. It was Miami as usual." The primary reason for Jimmy's comeback, in my opinion, was that the Heat were prepared and that Spoelstra had them so. The Warriors, who knew before to the game that Curry would be sidelined due to a bruised tailbone, performed as though they had been dancing on South Beach for 3 days. And with only 11 points, Butler, the fiery individual who has a reputation for creating legends via his passion of competition, did not create a fresh story of his greatness. Even he was unable to vaccine Golden State against the South Beach flu. The Warriors' postseason positioning is the greater problem. During their 6-game road journey, Miami was the second team they have lost to. They're fighting for a spot in the playoffs, hanging over the play-in tournament and hope they don't tumble. The Butler explosion seems to have occurred at the ideal moment. To get a sneak peek at the playoff Jimmy, who is the future of the Warriors. But he wasn't evoked by this event. This trip was less about sticking it to Miami and more about him spending time with his kids, whom he hasn't seen much since being traded to California. However, it fits Butler's opposite personality. Always going against the grain. Refusing to march in time with other people's music. We desired conflict. We were looking for drama. In the Miami light, we waited to catch a sight of the alluring Butler. He ultimately left this evening with the Warriors in a different manner. He remarked, "I see it for what it is. A chapter is over. A new one has started." Then Butler disappeared.